What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. In this video, we'll be going over how to beat the legend version of the K1 Logistics Lost Sector quickly and efficiently. To do this, we must first know the modifiers. This Lost Sector has Void Burn, but we have Solar Shielded Shanks and Arc Shielded Captains, so not off to a great start. It is a Fallen Lost Sector, so we have Barrier Servitors and Overload Captains. And then, as always, we have Match Game, Extra Shields, Locked Loadouts, and Limited Revives. Now that we have all that out of the way, let's take a look at the first build. We'll start with a really fun loadout on the Hunter. We have Vortex Grenades, and for aspects we have Vanishing Step to make us go invisible when we dodge, and Stylish Executioner to make us invisible whenever we kill a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target. For fragments we have Echo of Undermining to allow our grenades to weaken enemies. We have Echo of Remnants, which will make our Vortex Grenades last longer, Echo of Starvation, which will give us Devour when we pick up an Orb of Power, and Echo of Expulsion, which will cause enemies to explode from an ability kill. For weapons, we have the Exotic Sniper Rifle Izanagi's Burden, a Solar Bow and Tyranny of Heaven, which will take down Barrier Servitor Shields, as well as the Solar Shielded Shanks. And finally, the Razor's Edge Void Sword with Chain Reaction. This is great for ad clear and deleting champions. Being Void, it will do more damage thanks to Void Burn. On the helmet, we have Font of Might to make our sword do an extra 25% damage when we pick up a Void Elemental Well. Sword Ammo Finder, so we always have sword ammo, and Harmonic Siphon so we can make orbs with our Void Sword. On the gloves, we have Reaping Wellmaker. This will allow us to make a Void Well whenever we get a weapon kill after dodging. Piercing Bowstring for taking down the barrier shields, and Bolstering Detonation to give us dodge energy when we deal damage with our grenade. For the chest piece, we have the 6 Coyote to give us a second dodge charge. This is handy for proccing Reaping Wellmaker. We have Lucent Blade, which will allow our sword to deal 35% more damage whenever we are charged with light. We also have Sniper Resistance for the Vandal Snipers, and Thermoshock Plating for Arc and Solar Resistance. On the boots, we have Volatile Flow, which will give us volatile rounds to our sword when we pick up a Void Elemental Well. We also have Innervation to give us grenade energy when we pick up an Orb of Power, and Sword Scavenger for more sword ammo when we pick up a brick. Lastly, on the class item, we have Overload Grenades to allow our grenades to stun Overload Captains. We also have Elemental Charge to give us charge with light from picking up an Elemental Well, and Double Perpetuation to get our dodge energy back whenever we dodge. I have 2 on because I have an Artifice Cloak, but if you don't have an Artifice piece, you can only run 1. And finally, I am running 100 Mobility and 100 Discipline for max dodge and grenades. With this build, you can delete champions without even stunning them if you are high enough light. This is because our sword gets 50% more damage from Void Burn, 35% damage from Lucent Blade, and 25% damage from Font of Might, plus the extra damage from volatile rounds. So your sword does literally all the work. That is why I wanted to show this build, because if you're like me, you like aggressive playstyles and high damage, and this build is all about that. Izanagi's Burden is for dealing with the boss, but everything else can be deleted with the sword. One other thing I should mention is that if you want more detail on all the mods I am using, I actually made a video breaking down every single mod in Destiny, so check that out if you are new to build crafting. Anyways, I will let the rest of the run play out and see you for the Warlock build. For the Warlock, we are running Vortex Grenades and pairing it with the aspects Feed the Void to grant us Devour when we get a Void ability kill, and Chaos Accelerant to allow us to overcharge our grenades. For Fragments, we have Echo of Instability to give us volatile rounds when we get a grenade kill, Echo of Undermining to allow our grenades to weaken targets, and Echo of Remnants to allow our Vortex Grenades to last longer. For weapons, we have a Kinetic Grenade Launcher with Blinding Grenades to allow us to blind enemies. This is handy when you are unable to kill enemies because they are being made immune by the barrier servitor. We have the exotic bow Monarch. This thing hits like a truck and is awesome for dealing with barrier servitors. And then we have an autoloading void rocket in the royal entry. This will delete champions and the boss. On the helmet, we have volatile flow to give us volatile rounds when we pick up a void elemental well. We also have harmonic siphon so we can make orbs of power with our bow or rocket launcher. And finally, rocket launcher ammo finder. We have the exotic gloves Controverse Hold to give us grenade energy back when we do damage with our grenade. We have Font of Might to allow our void weapons to deal more damage when we pick up a void well. We have Grenade Launcher Loader, but this isn't really needed thanks to the autoloading that we have on our kinetic grenade launcher. We also have Piercing Bowstring for the barrier servitors. On the robes, we have Thermal Shock Plating, as well as Void and Sniper Resist for amazing survivability. And we have Elemental Ordnance to make a well when we get a grenade kill. On the boots, we have Melee Wellmaker for yet another way to make wells, Invigoration for melee energy back when we pick up an Orb of Power, and Rocket Scavenger to keep our rocket reserves up. And finally, on the class item, we have Overload Grenades for stunning Overload Captains, Elemental Armaments for yet another way to make Void Wells, this being with our Void Weapons, and Double Bomber to get a big chunk of grenade energy back whenever we cast our Rift. And as usual, you want as high of discipline and recovery as you can possibly get. You probably noticed I didn't have anything for solar shields, and that is because the Monarch can easily handle the shields, as you will see. That is it for the build. Enjoy the rest of the run, and we will see you for the Titan build. So finally we have the Titan build. Once again we are running Void 3.0. As usual we are running Vortex Grenades. For aspects we have Bastion to give us an overshield when we put down a barricade, as well as Controlled Demolition to make enemies volatile when we hit them with a Void ability. For fragments we have Echo of Expulsion to cause enemies to explode when we kill them with an ability. This causes an awesome chain reaction with Controlled Demolition for great ad clear. We have Echo of Exchange where melee final blows grant grenade energy, and as usual we have Echo of Undermining to weaken enemies with our grenade. For weapons we have the ultimate anti-barrier weapon and Arbalist. This thing is extremely strong and is worth using for any Lost Sector with barrier champions. It is also nice for easily taking out the arc shielded captains. For an energy weapon we have the Solar Auto Rifle, the Summoner. This has Alacrity on it, which is super good in solo content, giving it a bunch of stat boosting perks when you're the last person alive. And finally, we have the Void Linear Fusion Rifle, Threaded Needle. This will be great for deleting the champs and boss. On the helmet, we have Melee Wellmaker to make a Void Elemental Well on a melee kill. Linear Fusion Rifle Ammo Finder, which helps Arbalist and the Threaded Needle, and Harmonic Siphon just because. On the gloves, we have Font of Might to allow our Threaded Needle to deal more damage. Overload Auto Rifle for dealing with the Overload Captains, Bolstering Detonation to get class ability energy back when we deal damage with our grenade. We have the Heart of Inmost Light for our exotic of choice. This will empower our abilities when we use our abilities, as well as lower their cooldown quite a bit, allowing us to spam our abilities. We have Elemental Ordnance to get a Void Well when we get a grenade kill, and 2 Thermal Shock plating mods for survivability. On the boots we have Volatile Flow to give our Threaded Needle volatile rounds. We also have Linear Fusion Rifle Scavenger, as well as Invigoration to give us melee energy back when we pick up an Orb of Power. And finally, on the class item, we have Overload Grenades to stun Overload Captains, Shield Crash Wellmaker, which will make us a Solar Well when we break a Solar Shield, and Double Bomber for grenade energy when we cast our Barricade. That's it for the build, and also for the video. As usual, we had 3 pretty different playstyles. If you are at or under light, then the Titan weapon loadout is probably your best bet. Arbalist is a beast against barrier champions as well as shielded enemies. A Solar Auto Rifle will let you deal with solar shields as well as giving you a way to stun overloads outside of just a grenade. And Threaded Needle is great for champions and the boss alike. But that is going to do it from me. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, then a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. I say this every season, but the Moon Lost sectors are by far the worst ones to farm. They are long and the enemies are quite spread out. They have more champions than most, and in the case of today's, they are extra annoying due to having 2 shield types that don't match the burn, so you have to bring the rainbow or get creative. So if you can avoid it, don't farm this Lost sector or any of the other Moon Lost sectors. But if you're in a pinch or looking for a challenge, then hopefully my loadout suggestions help. Anyways, if you made it this far, then I thank you so much for watching. Happy Lost Sector farming, Guardians, and take care.